This video will have no spoilers. Mob Psycho is a masterpiece. Do I think it's the best anime ever made? Not even close. Still, everything it does incredibly well. From hilarious comedy bits to super epic fights and even heartbreaking emotional scenes, Mob Psycho truly has it all. Despite only having 3 seasons, Mob Psycho feels like a journey of finding yourself. Season 1. Season 1 of Mob starts you off with kind of getting to know the characters. You slowly start to understand their characteristics and the problems they're dealing with. And as you can see, this sets up the plot for the rest of the show. Of course, there's focus on all of the other members of the cast, but the main person that we grow along with over the course of the story is Mob, or Shigeo Kageyama. This shy and introverted kid has a pretty normal life despite having psychic powers. He really tries his best to live as basic as possible and doesn't even want to use his psychic powers on other humans. I think Mob probably has one of the best moral compasses of any anime character. He truly is a good kid. Season 1 does a good job of not shoving everything in your face all at once. It really takes its time with the character development and introductions of characters, and I think by the end of the season you will come to love just about every character in the main cast. Season 2. Season 2 from the start displays the empathetic themes to a whole different level than before, showing that the biggest strength above any special power is kindness and compassion. Over time, the story starts to ramp up a little bit, and Mob goes through a lot more character progression than ever before. He now truly starts facing some challenging mental and physical issues as the fights become progressively harder. There's one particular instance that I obviously won't spoil where Mob really has a good experience of another person's pain that I absolutely adore. That moment has got to be one of my faves, not just in this season, but in the entire anime overall. Season 2 does a good job at bringing back the previous cast and having them be useful. That honestly has to be one of my favorite things about Mob Psycho. With the introduction of so many psychics, you can just constantly bring them back and have them help out. And not only is them helping awesome, it also furthers their character development and suddenly turns them from a one time appearance character to a reoccurring friend of Shigeo. Slowly over time, you really start to see a big group of people form that don't particularly fit in, but they can all relate to each other, which I think is beautiful. One thing I also really love about this anime is how at the end of every season, you can always expect a crazy fight with super flashy animation. It does a really good job every season to build up to something insane. Just like in season 1, season 2 also follows this formula, and I can confidently say this season ends with an even bigger bang than the one before it. Season 3. This season has a slow start and it works really well. It slowly builds up from a completely calm setting to probably the most insane setting in the entire show. It also has probably the most emotional moments out of any of the seasons before it. They really made sure to jam pack this season with a ton of character progression for Mob. I think if I had to compare this season to the last, I'd say season 2 is more about finding out who you are, and season 3 is more about understanding and accepting who you are and figuring out what you want to do. And also, just like before, the animation and art style are just beautiful. This is one of those once in a lifetime anime when it comes to its appearance and style. It's definitely one of the most unique things I've ever watched, and I think the studio did an insanely good job adapting the manga. This season concludes the story of the anime, and I gotta say, it wraps it up beautifully. A lot of the times, there are great anime that kind of fall short with their ending, but Mob Psycho is not one of those. All the way from the first episode to the last, it never once had a bad moment. For this reason, I think Mob Psycho is a masterpiece. Even if it isn't the best written anime ever created, for it to be amazing from beginning to end makes it a masterpiece in my book. That's going to be the end of this video. I do want to know, have you watched Mob Psycho? Are you still planning to watch it, or will you never watch it? Please let me know down in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video.